So it was raining torrentially, so I had to get some Visqueen, make a car cover, because we still don't have side glass. We got a lot to do today. We got to get this thing down the road into Glendale to the tire shop. Try as I might to find used tires on the internet. I found plenty, but they were all 20 years old, and that just won't stand. So I got to get a little bit of air in these tires, see if we can make it to Glendale without blowing one out. Not feeling good about it. We did pick up a tire inflator at the Long Beach swap meet. That one. Whoa. Right, turbo. All right, let's see if we can figure this contraption out. The one I have at home is not like this. Can you set the PSI? Okay, that's pretty cool. I like this already. The one I have, you got to pull the trigger and hold it until you get the PSI you like. I'm not going to put those up to 35 PSI. We're going to call it 27 and see if they don't explode. When you're buying a car, or more importantly, specifically used tires off the internet, learn how to read the date code. These are so old, they have the old style date code. These are from 1999. 26 years old. Guys, that is beyond the lifespan of tires. So that actually makes me even more nervous. All right, the rears are a little worse, so we'll give it a go. So the thing about old tires when they dry rot is they start to crack and they'll fall apart. When they fall apart, they get out of balance and they like shake themselves to death. And just, I've had two very old tires go bad. One on the van in the middle of Arizona, and one in the white C10 we did on the channel in my backyard. It just went kapoosh. So I'm worried. Not good. All right, surprise, surprise. We're already basically out of time and I want to get on the road. See if it'll start. Come on, give it one for luck. Oh no, I don't have jumpers. Oh no. Not good. Jiggle the cables and hope we get lucky. So we're in the rental car. I just picked up the longest jumper cables known to man and a couple of jack stands. Strangely enough from Home Depot, because that was closest. I'm still new here, and I'm passing a Harbor Freight on my way back, which means the Harbor Freight was closer. Dang it, I just spent Home Depot money. Well, I've already blown my appointment. I called them and said, hey fellers, I'm broke down. I would still like to get there, but do you have another appointment? They said, no, but we'll try to work you in. So it's amazing how failure alleviates the pressure of failure. I mean, I've already failed, so nothing to do now but to try a little bit. But I'm gonna find out how long this car is, because these jumper cables are 20 feet. Apparently I can't whistle for 20 feet. Let's nose this rental car right up against it and hope for the best. Man, oh man, it's maybe gonna make it. Oh, the gauge is showing charging. Power steering belt looks really loose. Should I address that now? Probably. See that wobbling around there? That is too much slacks. Way too much. That explains the power steering whine we had on the way back the other day. So let's get our Harbor Freight tools out, see if we can get a fix on it. All right, I already feel like I'm making a mistake. So that bolt needs a washer that I don't have, and the other adjuster bolt appears to be metric. I don't know what kind of tomfoolery that is. I didn't think GM went metric till the 80s, but this is my first one of these, so I don't know. So maybe I made this worse. Because of course that bolt is threaded through the water pump into the block. So what have I just done? That's what happens when you try. Remember when I also jinxed the world by saying the pressure of failure was off because I'd already failed? Well, remembering that time I cheaped out on the extra 20 bucks for the extension set. And if you were wondering how long it was going to take to come back to haunt me, not long at all. Oh boy. Alright, we're just going to have to let that ride for now. Let's see if it'll start again. Alright, we're late, about to get later. So 25-minute drive to go 7 miles. Hopefully we make it. Seems to be charging. So we're gonna hope for the best. Power steering is gonna be a problem because we couldn't fix that, but we gotta go. Let's see if I regret that and how soon. Alright. You know, it's a special feeling driving a barely roadworthy car, and like, it's not really roadworthy, it just happens to be on the road into Los Angeles traffic with expired tags in an area patrolled by the LAPD. It's a special feeling inside. I thought all of this was a good idea. I'm an idiot. Well, I made it to the tire shop. For the last 2 or 3 minutes, it was almost pleasant when I forgot everything about this car. I'm gonna turn it off and we'll see if it'll start again when they need to move it in there. It's gonna be a minute, I bet. I missed my appointment. Here we go. So I got a feeling we've got a power draw somewhere, and that's what's killing the battery, but I just gotta find it. Considering we had a 2-hour wait because I missed my appointment, now's as good a time as any to look, right? Also realized the e-brake was on. Don't know if it works, but it was on. Usually feel like the radio is the culprit, especially if it's rednecked and aftermarket, and we got a lot of that going on with the stereo system in here. So we got all kind of radio wires dangling down, but we also have oil in here, so we got a leak from the back of our El Cheapo aftermarket gauge. That's good to know. When it really goes, it'll just flood the car with oil. Rust proofing. No whammies, no whammies. Whew. All right, let's get some tires on this thing. All right, that was stressful. They did not think that we were gonna be able to get those tires on. They were stock size. Anyway, they got them on there. Whew. Time for the next stress. So at this point, I imagine I'll break down for something slightly less predictable. But it's nerve-wracking riding on tires that are, are really bad when you got no spare, no jack. So it should come as a surprise to no one that it's driving way better. And a lot of the rattles have sort of like fixed themselves, thus reminding us that 25-year-old tires are hard as rocks. Yeah, we're styling now. Not quite legal, but styling. So we're getting a terrible rubbing sound on right-hand turns. So I'm hoping the inner fender's loose or something, and the tire's not coming off. We'll see. Oh, we made it back. Let's find out what that terrible rubbing noise was. I mean, that is pretty tight right there. I don't necessarily see it on the tire though. One hand unit. Alright, so I fired it up and I turned the wheel all the way to the right. You can see the rubbing right in here. That's no bueno, probably right in here. Crap. I don't know what to do about that. I'm going to turn to the left and see if we have the same issue. I don't know why we wouldn't. Yeah, that's not good. Not good at all. They're rubbing like crazy. I guess we're going to do some clearancing with a hammer. So, yes, on the one hand, I was trying to cheap out because the tire size I had on there were twice as much as these. However, this tire size is exactly was stock for these. Now, yes, sure, Berlinetta had 14-inch, Z28 had 15, so these are Z28 tires. Maybe it's a back spacing thing. I don't really know. Well, we'll figure it out. It might be inner fender clearancing with a hammer time. Hammer time. Well, we made it back with new tires. They're rubbing, so that's a problem. We need to make a list because this thing's got a lot of problems and I don't know what to do first. I'm not even sure if it matters because they're all problems. We have a tire rubbing issue. We have no side glass, although I purchased some. We got to get it in there, and that probably means making the power windows work because I doubt they do. And we got a power drain somewhere. Needs an oil change. And we probably ought to get the rock and roll box hooked up so that we can listen to some Skinnerd. Probably not. We probably need Chris Isaac to just bring it down. Right, power steering belt's loose too. Alright, so I went and made a coffee about it, but I'm pretty sure I want to start with the windows, mostly because the windows are taking up a ton of space. And I have nowhere to put them because, you know, life on the road. Also thinking I'm going to regret that and we'll be pivoting oh so shortly because we are in a berlinetta, and a berlinetta sometimes came with power windows. The odds that these things work, slim to none. Why? Just got a feeling about it. All right, let's go ahead and click them a do. Interesting. So we got a light back there. What are you? Nothing. 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 But man, did it fire right up. I like it when it does that. It's way better than when it doesn't, and you have to go buy jumper cables at Home Depot because you didn't know the Harbor Freight was right there. But now you know, and knowing is half the battle. So this is going to require some spelunking, meaning fuse box is up under there. So I decided I'd look at the switch and see if I was getting power as far as the switch, and it looks very like it was on fire. It looks like somebody's been in here trying to burn the car to the ground. So I guess we'll start here. Well, that's terrifying. Don't have a wiring diagram, but I can assess that the pink is hot because we know it ran there, which means there's two sets of two wires that run to the window. Over there, I can see a blue and brown. So I think it's this blue, this brown. I assume blue, white, and light brown probably runs to the driver's door. Well, it feels like 3 hours later. Got one switch wired in. Let's see if it works, bursts into flame, or does nothing. Place your bets. Some juice. Nothing. Let's confirm juice. Juice. Where don't we have juice? Where does the juice stop? Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So if you cut all the wires in the door, that makes it difficult to make any of this stuff work. Someone replace the doors? I don't know. What's happening here? All right, the plot is a thickening. So on this side, I got a connector that's brown and brown blue that seems to have connected to this thing that got cut off, which is just plain old brown and blue, which means if I connect this to this and swap the wires to brown and blue with a stripe, this side might work. The tomfoolery is just growing. Fine. It's an old car, guys. You find it on all of them. It's like a detective mystery. We're at the scene of the crime. Bubba was here, you know? So these were just tucked in the door. I'm guessing that this is part of the power lock harness. You can see the power lock mechanism solenoid is right down there. So it exists. Don't know where the switches were on these things stock. So that's something I need to learn. Based on that, it looks like they were in the door, you know, right next to the door handle attached to that thing. Probably were also in the door. Weirdly enough, the door cards do not seem to have a spot for it. Don't know if they're new, don't know if they're aftermarket. They definitely seem like power window door cards because they don't have a spot for the crankety madoo. This side just appears to be disconnected. Why it was manglified, I don't know. The blue, not to brown. Good news is we have power over here. Bad news is it's not doing nothing. Oh, I see a power window motor in our future. Well, sports fans, I am running out of daylight. I'm gonna try this power window switch over here. Hey, look at this. All right, that confirms my suspicions. So both switches are wired to both motors, but this motor is shorted. So on these motors, one power supply goes to each lead. So one power supply is up, one power supply is down, and the motor is grounded to the door, which is grounded to the frame, which is grounded to the battery. So what we have is continuity between both contacts on the motor, which means it's just shorted out. So we need a new driver side motor, and we need a lot of lubrication on this guy. Came prepared. Well, we're out of light. So we broke down, we spent hundreds of dollars on tires that don't really fit. We found a power window motor that's not working, and we got one of them actually functioning. We'll just call that a very successful day, and we're gonna give it hell tomorrow. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I am still out here in Southern California. I'm gonna do my best to get videos out more frequently, but I'm gonna try doing them in this 15-minute format. You guys tell me what you think. You like it, you don't like it? We got a lot to do on the car. It's gotta become my daily driver while I'm here. We're gonna try to make it that way by buying parts at all of the local swap meets, because I've always wanted to go to them, and they're an enormous amount of fun. And then I gotta get that car somehow back to Atlanta. So if you're into this, thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing, buy some merch. It's down there in the little store. That's a great way to support the channel if you feel so inclined. But as always, good luck on your projects, and we will see you next time on Between the Sharks. Look out for a midweek video. Let's see if I can get one done.